The light in Edinburgh at this time of year is so beautiful, I had to do a video about it, and I had to film it in one of my favourite parks in Edinburgh, Saughton Park. This park is situated in the west of Edinburgh and is right next to the Water of Leith walkway and the John Muir Way, and is easily accessible from Bull Green tram stop as well as many buses. Saughton Park is an ancient place and was first noted as a willowy farm in 1128 in King David I's charter. You can still see willow trees growing along the Water of Leith riverbank on the edge of the park, which I'll show you in a bit. The park has so many features. A few of them include a cafe, demonstration gardens, a plaza, events lawn, bandstand, rose gardens, sunken garden, physic garden, winter garden and conservatory, a skate park, playground, outdoor gym, ball court and playing fields. And as you can see here, the Friends of Saughton Park group put on events throughout the year, including this very delightful sounding Halloween Family Fun Day. Let's go for a little walk and look at this beautiful autumn light through a whole stand of common lime trees. Wasn't the light coming through those trees just so beautiful? Oh, I love it so much. So this is the sunken garden, and the first thing that caught my eye was the grasses in the sunlight to the right. I think they're called Stipa tenuissima, and let's just take a moment to look at their beauty. So the park has a bit of a mini topiary garden going on here. There are some peacocks, there's some spirals in the distance over there, and I think they've got a couple of hedges that they're trying to make into something. I don't know if they're maybe trying to make a Nessie, like the Loch Ness Monster. I'm not really sure, but have to come back and I'll have to check out what they are trying to create, because it looks like it's going to be quite cool. This is the Physic Garden, which is a community garden designed and looked after by the Friends of Saughton Park. The first bed I come to is for plants used in treating the sinuses, throat, airways and lungs. They have yarrow, which induces sweating to reduce fever, thyme, which is a remedy for sore throat, upset stomach and skin disorders, And they also have dill, lovage, coltsfoot, peppermint, vetch and rosemary. I can never resist taking a sniff of rosemary bushes. They're just so lovely and fragrant. Magnolia trees are so gorgeous, aren't they? Not only do you get those exquisite flowers in the springtime, but you also get that beautiful golden yellow autumnal colour as well. The next bed is for plants used to treat mental health, the nervous system, the brain and the spinal cord. One of these plants is St. John's wort, which relieves depression and anxiety. Aren't the fruit and the seed heads just so beautiful? This last bed that I explore is my absolute favourite because it has some still beautiful coloured flowers. So you've got marigolds and you've got the bright oranges of the nasturtiums, and the nasturtium leaves have dew on them and it just looks so pretty, especially in the light. And then they also have the most amazing seed heads. So they have some echinacea seed heads and some hemp agrimony seed heads, which just looks so beautiful in the sunlight. Let's take a moment to look at these autumn beauties and enjoy the bird song. Over here is a yew tree. The fruits of yew trees are actually called arrels. They are eaten by a wide range of birds, including mistle thrush, song thrush, blackbirds, fieldfares, and also small mammals, including dormice and squirrels. In my opinion, Saughton Park has the most beautiful herbaceous borders of any park in the whole of Edinburgh. They look good in every single season. Just check out these lilac asters, don't they look so pretty in the sun? This is the original bandstand from 1909 and it's undergoing some maintenance work at the moment. It stands in one of my favourite gardens within the park, what I like to call the ornamental grass garden. These grasses were just made for dancing in the autumn sunlight. This grass is Miscanthus sinensis and the feathery plumes turn from dark red into silver throughout autumn. This is a fuller view of the garden, and over here just look at the colour and texture that these beautiful grasses provide. This Persicaria isn't a grass, but I thought it was an amazing addition to sit alongside all the grasses, because it does have that grass-like texture with the flowers coming up on long stems, but also the colour of the pink flowers when the light hits them is just incredible. So I've spotted a bit of rubbish on the floor, and it's quite handy because coming to a public place, I bought a plastic bag to put rubbish in because I was 99.9% sure, actually 100% sure that I would find rubbish, and can't bear litter, so I picked it up and popped it in my litter bag. I love the hazy see-through appearance that a lot of the taller grasses have. I feel like it kind of gives everything a bit of a magical sheen when you look through them into the distance, and when the wind blows them a little bit, it just helps even more. It's really lovely. So we're coming to the end of our time in the ornamental grass garden, and I'm just ending on one of the most beautiful shots in the whole of this vlog, I think. The colours in this are just so exquisite. The light is incredible. It's just such a feast for the eyes. And there is one little gem in this flower bed that just looks like little stars. This is an astrantia, and it's just so delicate and pretty and star-like. And look, even the bees are loving it. So if you want to plant something that will hopefully last through to the autumn and the bees love, then this is one to go for. Also, sedum is a really, really good one for that as well. I think this super tall and amazingly architectural plant is a cardoon, and below it is some agapanthus, which have really interesting shaped, quite big seed heads. This is sedum that I mentioned earlier, a really, really good pollinator plant for autumn, and it's planted next to lamb's ear, which I think is a really interesting plant combination. And like with rosemary, I always have to touch lamb's ear, at least one of the leaves, because they're so soft. This whole border is beautifully planted. Next you've got some black grass, some more sedum, some yellow achillea, some anemones, and then later on you've got a bit of rudbeckia, the bright yellow coming through, and then some more pink sedums, and further down you can see some asters. These Thalicrum seed heads are an autumnal dream in this light, and a bit further on from them is a statue which is inspired by Sri Chinmoy, who founded the Oneness Home Peace Run, which is a global torch relay. There are other statues around the world which join this one in embodying a vision of peace that is both contemplative and dynamic. The sign asks you to hold the torch and offer your own hope of peace. This plant has the enchanting name of heartleaf oxeye. I read that it's a popular choice for wildflower gardens and restoration projects. In the summer it has beautiful bright yellow flowers, but now, as you can tell, the spiders are liking it very much. This beautiful rowan tree stands next to the events lawn. And then if we go round the corner, we'll see our first glimpse of the Water of Leith. On the Friends of Saughton Park website, it says that otters have been spotted along the Water of Leith that runs beside the park. And I swear in this section of the river, I swear I saw one swimming. It was, quite sort of small in the water. It might have been maybe some sort of vole or rat, but I really think it was an otter. And then what makes me think it was an otter even more is that about 1 minute later, this guy turned up on the other side of the bank to where I was with a massive wildlife camera, and it kind of makes me think that maybe he knows that's exactly where they hang out and he wanted to take photos of them. But yeah, I was pretty excited when I saw it, so I really hope it was an otter, because I think that would be my first ever sighting in Scotland, and actually in the whole of Britain, seeing a otter in the wild, which is pretty cool. That little building you can see there houses an Archimedes screw turbine, which uses the flow of water down the weir to generate electricity to the park. On the Green Space Scotland website, it states that this hydro scheme will prevent more than 90 tonnes of CO2 being pumped into the atmosphere each year. It makes this park a new model of a low-carbon park, which is one of the first in the UK. This part of Saughton Park is definitely the wilder part, with the trees, the wildflower meadows and the running river. I also like how they have the picnic tables dotted around so you can enjoy this more wilder space. it's definitely time for tea and cake, or in my case, an oat milk turmeric latte and a chocolate and caramel vegan slice. There used to be a brilliant cafe here at the park, which unfortunately closed down, but recently the cafe's opened up again and it's now called Four Square Park Cafe. It's a social enterprise which provides volunteering and training opportunities to support people facing homelessness across Edinburgh, and it's run by the incredible Edinburgh homeless charity Foursquare. It's my first time visiting the newly opened cafe, and I can definitely say that it's definitely worth a visit. Both my turmeric latte and my vegan slice were absolutely delicious, and they had loads of other things which looked really, really nice, so I can highly recommend a visit there. I'm having my break in the demonstration garden, and behind the main bed is this beautiful hidden gem called the Resourceful Garden. It's created by Christina Andriova, and the planting is gorgeous. There's so much joy in such a small space, and I love the emphasis on reusing. See if you can spot the glass bottles used as edging around the path. She asks you to take a minute, sit back, relax, and reconnect with the living world around you. So let's just do that for a moment. This very continental looking part of the park is the plaza, and it has a information board which is really, really interesting. It lets you know that the landowners built a large house in the 18th century which stood where I'm standing now. It became Saughton Hall Asylum around 1796, and the patients were encouraged to take part in horticultural therapy on the grounds, which was innovative at the time. The house sadly burnt down and fell into decay, and then in 1900 the land was bought by the Edinburgh Corporation to turn into a park, and the superintendent at the time said that Saughton Hall promises to be one of the best parks in the city, and he definitely wasn't wrong. And on the other side of the plaza is a couple of tables with chessboards on the tables, which I just really love that idea of that very continental feeling of people playing chess. Should bring down my chess board one day, we'll see. And I really like the way the entire area is lined by these pleached hornbeams. I think they're hornbeams. It just feels very like cozy and insulated. Over here is the Rose Gardens. Now, in 1908, the park hosted the Scottish National Exhibition and had attractions such as a Senegalese village and the Palace of Industries. One of the legacies was the so-named Best Rose Garden in Scotland. So let's go and have a look now and see which roses are still thriving. I love this view with the Pentland Hills in the background. It's so pretty. Let's go and explore the winter garden. So this has plants from South Africa, the Americas, the Atlantic Islands and the Himalayas. I hope you enjoyed watching the beautiful autumn light in Edinburgh, and I hope you get some really nice days where you are to soak up the light amongst nature before the last leaves fall. Take care and see you again soon.